Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's Kaylan Alex. If you're new here, welcome. Go ahead and subscribe. And if you're returning, thank you so much for tuning in. So spring is officially here, and that means that it is time to bring out the sandals. Well, kinda. Let's prepare to bring out the sandals because it's still a little bit cool, so we need a little bit of transition. But when it's time to bring out the sandals officially, we want to be prepared. So I was like, let me put together a list of things that I have my little eyes on, things that I have been seeing and have been eyeing for the spring, official spring and summertime. So I was like, let me go ahead and share this little list and let's get started. So first I have these Christian Louboutin Dolly Mules. Now I have been having my eye on this one for a little minute now. I just love the idea of a heel mule situation. I feel like it is so feminine and so sleek. Now I am a little bit cautious because I wonder how well the shoe would fit with the toe box area being, you know, how it's made. But other than that, I feel like this shoe is just, it's so feminine and I just love it with like a baby doll dress or a maxi dress with like a very feminine silhouette. I think this would be perfect for. And the fact that I've been seeing it in like the pinks and the more summery or springish colors have just really drawn me in. And I think this shoe is just so perfect for the time. I also love that the heel height doesn't seem too intimidating because it is a mule. I was concerned about that as well, but the heel height does not seem too intimidating. So I was like, this right here really is really sticking out to me. So I would want to try this on to see how well it would fit on me and how well that it wears. But from afar, from just looking at it and seeing it and admiring from afar, I really do like this shoe. Next, we have this juicy Gucci wedge situation. I don't know what it is about wedges. I feel like wedges are kind of making a comeback. Like, not that they were ever officially like gone per se, but I feel like the fun, wedgy, this clear, translucent vibe is kind of like trying to trickle back in. I was never really much of a wedge girl. I just didn't feel like it looked well on me. So when I say that I was never really a wedge girl, I truly mean that. I mean, this shoe, which is the Giuseppe and Christian Kaylan collection with the watch on the heel, is probably one of the only wedges or wedge styles that I have in my collection. And this is basically or mainly because of the watch, the Rolex style that the shoe has on the ankle. I was obsessed with that. I love a gold Rolex. It just does it for me. And so this, when I seen this collab and seen the way that this shoe looks, I hopped on it, right? So that's probably the only wedge that I have in my collection. One of the only wedges I have in my collection. So I'm not really a wedge girl. So I was very surprised to see these shoes and actually like them and want to wear them. Like, think of ideas and ways that I could wear the shoe. Was very different for me. Now, there are some times when I see a wedge and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cute. That's kind of nice. It looks more like a heel, so to say. So I kind of like it. And this gave me that vibe. I got the same vibe from this shoe that I had with the Ferragamo wedge heel. I just love the way that those two shoes look. I love the silhouette on this shoe. I love how the heel is a nice thin, it's not like a chunky wedge. It's still sleek. The shoe is still like a sleek design, and I'm all here for that. Now, the only drawback with this is that Ferragamo heel is tall. Like, it is not to be played with. Now, when I tried it on in the store, I was actually very surprised at how high that heel was on the Ferragamo one. And it is not to be played with, okay? I was thinking, okay, so wedge, it should be easy to walk in. It should be very comfortable. It should have no problems because it is a wedge. And typically, wedges have been more like comfortable. You know what I mean? Because they're on like a platform. However, these Ferragamo ones felt more like a heel, like a stiletto heel. Like, it felt like I was walking in like stiletto heels with a little bit of support. And that's probably because the sole, like the actual toe box, like the sole on the shoe is flat. It's not like on a platform. So I don't know if the Gucci ones will be like that, but from the looks of it, they look similar in how they are made. So I would expect it to be a similar feel in terms of comfort. However, I would have to see if they're actually comfortable and if the heel height is comparable to the Ferragamo one, if they're the same in terms of how they feel on the foot. But this one is a mule. That one was more of a shoe, like a strappy heel, so they are still different. I do like the rendition of the Gucci one because they have the straps around the front of the foot, and then it is more of a mule style. It also has that translucent heel, which I think is very playful and very it gives me summer, if you know what I mean. So I just thought that this shoe was very, 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 very summery. It's obviously like a trending style, and I'm kind of here for it. I'm kind of here for it, and especially in this green color, I think looks so pretty and so, you know, summery, like summertime appropriate. Which leads me into the next shoe, which is this Saint Laurent Salome satin strappy wedge. This shoe, when I say I liked wedges that looked more like a stiletto or more like a heel, this is what I mean. I just love the strappy but simple detailing on the front. The nice gold wedge heel just looks like this shoe to me looks like, I don't know, art or something. Like, this shoe looks so exquisite, very feminine, very soft. Like, this does not give me wedge heel. Like, the connotation in my mind that I have with wedge heels, this does not fit in that category, and that was what makes me drawn to this shoe. I feel like it still gives that vibe of a wedge, but it has a different play on it than we're used to seeing when it comes to wedges, especially with the straps in the front and how thin the shoe is, if that makes sense. And I say thin because the wedge on it doesn't look chunky. The straps on it make the shoe look very minimalistic and very, I don't know, thin. That's the word that comes to mind. And it's probably just because of the strappiness that's in the front. It doesn't have like a wide leather strap or a thick strap around the ankles. It's pretty simplistic, and I really do like them. This one also comes in a few different colors. However, the black and the gold really caught my eye, as well as the brown color, because the heel on the chocolate color one is more of it looks like a wood type of finish, or it looks woody, and so it's not just like a solid block. It's not just like a solid color, and I just love the design and the silhouette of the shoe. I think it's very feminine, it's very, very sleek, as I keep mentioning, and it is one that I really have my eye on. Probably even more so than the Gucci one, because I feel like I could get a way more wear out of this Saint Laurent one as opposed to the Gucci one, but I kind of like them because they're similar but still different. Then switching categories to something a little bit more everyday, something a little bit more wearable, I am going to mention the puffy sandal slides. Now this purchase would be a repeat purchase for me, or in kind of updated one. You guys know that I had the crisscross puffer style sandal from Louis Vuitton. I did have a little issue with that, and so we had to figure that out. I have since had to have those repaired, and in return they ended up giving me like a credit for it. It was a little bit of a mishap with the shoe. So this particular pair, I was like, I really did like the shoe. I wore the shoe a lot. I want it again, not in that style, but in something similar, and so this would be the alternative for me. This one would be different because it doesn't have the buckle at the back. It is just like a slide, like a regular sandal. This particular one is more like the Bombardier one, which I absolutely love. You guys know I've mentioned that one. Every time I make this type of video, I mention those Bombardier flats because I just feel like they're so perfect for the time. They're so classic. They're true to Louis Vuitton, and everybody has a sandal like that now. So I don't foresee them going anywhere. I feel like that's going to be one of the staples for the brand. So yeah, so this is just a rendition or an addition of the Bombardier sandals, and I really do like them, and I want to have that puffer style replaced because they're so casual, and it's also a different look than what I have in my closet already. So I really do have my eye on this one specifically. This one's probably at the top of the list in terms of my little list I got going here. But for my everyday lifestyle, I just feel like this is perfect. Next, I have the Alea mesh flats. Now this one I have went back and forth on for at least a year. Okay, so at first I was a little hesitant about this shoe because it just was giving me, it wasn't giving me good thoughts. It was giving me kind of like beauty supply a little bit, because it looks like something that I've seen there, right? So I was like, I don't really know. But then I started to think, okay, I've put on this outfit. I feel like this shoe would actually look cute with it. I'm gonna pair this with that. I'm gonna pair it with this. I feel like I can wear it with that. This will look cute with that. And when I started having those conversations with myself and started planning for different outfits I feel like would look cute with it, I was like, you know what? I could actually use this shoe. I think I could actually wear this shoe. It would be very useful in my collection. I don't have anything like it in terms of like flats. And I do have the Bottega mesh heel, but not in a flat. So I was like, okay, if I was okay with that and I could wear that, this is kind of like the similar vibe. And so I do feel like this is something, like I said, that is not in my wardrobe, not in my collection, but could be very useful in my collection. I have really been liking it as of lately. It's come out in a few different colors, especially for the springtime. So that's really got my eye. But if I were to get this shoe, it would probably be in like a classic black or classic white, because I feel like it would match better in my wardrobe and I would have more things to wear with just like a neutral color as opposed to one of the fun colors. I know black and white I could easily pair with things that I already have in my wardrobe. So this one is really high on the list. I did consider getting an alternative version of this shoe because I did see it from another brand. If I had to organize these things into a little list of high priority, it might be number 3, just to give my collection variety when it comes to sandals. Because let me just go on a little tangent. I have been just over seeing the same sandal mule style shoes. We talk about the same shoes all the time. And I'm just like, well, what about the shoes that are still summer or spring appropriate, that look good with different outfits, that are not just a slide or a mule? Like, where are those? Where are the sandals that we used to see variety of? You know what I mean? And so when I seen this shoe, I felt like it kind of gave me that variety in terms of shoes that can be worn in the spring and summertime, because not every day do I want to just put on a slide or a flat. Like, I want something more fun, if that makes sense. And this kind of gave me that. So yeah. While I'm on a tangent of slides, mules, type of sandals, I have the Loewe anagram sandal. Now this one I like because, again, it is along the lines of the mules and the sandals that we've been seeing and that we have been wearing for like the past 6-7 years. But it is a different look than what we're used to seeing. It does have the Loewe anagram symbol, which is this style of shoe is very reminiscent of the Hermes one. However, they are a little bit different in terms of how they're made, but this one I feel like is more close to what we're used to seeing in terms of the slide and sandal. This is another alternative for what we're used to seeing when it comes to the sandals, like the Dior sandals or the Louboutin. Like, everyone has a mule style sandal like that, and I feel like have really gotten a good use out of those. This is just an added one to the mix that I feel like gives more variety. Like, it gives a different look than what we're seeing in the neutral colors. So I feel like any of these colors would look good in my wardrobe. I do kind of feel like they might come out with some pops of color, which I wouldn't be mad at, but for right now the neutrals are pretty good. So then last on my list, I have these Saint Laurent Babylon sandals. Now this was one that was completely different from everything else on the list. This is what I mean when I say I want something a little bit more fun and different and can be worn with different things. I love the strappiness on this sandal. I love that it's flat. I love the little Saint Laurent logo that you see on the front, and how the shoe looks like it could be dressed up. Like, this is a shoe that I feel I would wear on vacation to dinner. If it was like on a beach or we're on a resort or somewhere and you're going to like dinner, but you don't want to wear heels. Like, it's like one of those places where heels is kind of like you're doing a little bit too much, but you want to wear a cute sandal that's not like a flip-flop or a mule, or, you know, something that looks a little bit more elevated. Or if you just have an outfit that requires a more elevated sandal, this is perfect for that. Like, I can definitely see this sandal with like a mini skirt, a skater skirt, or a nice baby doll dress. A sandal like this would be perfect, right? So this is something that I don't have in my collection that I feel like could be very useful in terms of wearing a flat and a sandal, but it still look like you put a little effort. It's not just a mule, it's not just, you know, a slide. This is a little bit different. So then that wraps up my little list of spring summer shoes that I feel like are trending or that are just great for this specific time. They gave us a little bit more variety from what we're used to seeing, and that I have my eye on very strongly for these next 2 seasons that we're about to see. So that is gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, drop a nice comment down below, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I post again, and I will see you in the next video.